Yo.
Yo,
What's up, man?
what's up?
Yo, hey, man. You see how many views we got on the last video we posted?
I know, right? So we're starting to get some popularity, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a whole lot, but it's more than the first couple, so that's kind of cool, right?
That's 4 times the amount of people that watch our video than the last week.
It's pretty inspiring.
So I was trying to get up some more juicy information about this whole Daniel Day Kim Grace Park thing, and every now and then Chi McBride stops by the store, so I had the opportunity to ask him.
Right. He's on the show, right?
Yeah, he's also on Hawaii Five-0.
Okay,
He's also, I think he plays a SWAT captain, so he is on the team.
Yeah. Okay.
So I figured who better to ask than Chi about the same topic. And he actually came up with a very sage-like words of wisdom to me.
Okay. What do you say?
He basically said, nobody ever got in trouble for not saying anything.
Nobody ever got in trouble for not saying anything. So basically, minding his own business, or how does that?
Yeah, I think basically he's on the show, and he's still on the show, and I think he's just working. He's happy with what he's getting paid. He's not minding what other people are getting paid, and he's just happy to be where he's at.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure like he's comfortable being his role, basically. Yeah, it's not a big deal, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think what he says really strikes me personally, as to why I respect him as an actor, mainly because he's not a gossiper. You know, he could have very easily said, "Oh man, blah 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 this, blah blah that," but he chose to set things straight from the get-go and not talk about it at all.
Well, that's it. I guess it kind of goes to show that, you know, because now that you say his name, I remember him in the other movies, and I know he's been in other, but I don't know that he's ever been like a front runner or like a main character. But it sounds like he's okay with that. Like, and I know we mentioned this the last time. Like, I mentioned the last time that it sounded like maybe these two actors are just worried or concerned about money, and not really focusing or kind of forgetting what they're doing. They're actors, you know, they're paid to act and be role models or whatever. Sounds like Chi is kind of more concerned about his craft, and I mentioned it before, like his passion, like acting is passion. He's okay with, not okay, I shouldn't say okay, that sounds really negative, but he's doing things and doing what he's comfortable with, staying out of the limelight, not a gossiper like you said. And he's doing a good job at what he does, what he loves. I'm sure he loves acting, that's why he became an actor. And it kind of ties back to just being happy.
And he just doesn't care what other people are getting paid. As long as he's getting what he thinks is worthy of his talents, then he's good to go. Totally.
Just not even bringing up anything about race, about anything like that. Wow, that's pretty inspiring.
So that kind of ties us back to our original purpose of making these videos, is to really try to not only improve ourselves, but to maybe inspire people to also get on board and maybe see if there's something they'd like to change about themselves as well.
I think it'll also give people another perspective, because as we're talking about it now, I had an assumption of the first time, and now hearing another point of view from another person on the show or whatnot, I'm getting another point of view. So maybe people might have a certain idea about certain things to begin with, and then get another point of view, another perspective, somebody else's input, and kind of change the way you think or something. So maybe getting back on track, going to be more positive and not quick to judge. I think that's what a lot of these gossipers and people are doing, maybe because that's their job, but just jumping the gun.
I totally think media tries to maybe put words in people's mouths and try to spin it in one way to make them say or So that could even go back to what Daniel Day Kim and Grace Park were saying. You know, maybe they didn't even say anything, and then all of a sudden it becomes a whole shit show of he said, she said, and now it's like a bigger issue than it might have actually been.
Maybe they were just everybody was just assuming that that's what it was.
Yeah.
Quick to pull the race card.
Right.
Quick to pull because they're Asian. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
And it was like a long time ago that somebody told me like assume is making an ass out of you
Yeah,
and me.
exactly. I hear
So,
that all the time.
Right? I mean, to put that into play, like I'm sure a lot of people did. It's just the easiest thing to say. They're Asian. Da 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 da. So if you're hearing like again the other perspective, it's good. There's another way to look at it. Hearing that is kind of making me feel better about the whole situation. It has nothing to do with me, but I have another perspective, and I feel like, oh, you know, it's kind of giving me a little bit of a push, I guess, to not be so quick to judge. Maybe that's something that I might work on myself, is that just kind of like take a moment to breathe in. Like yesterday I had a really bad day and it feels like everything bad was happening, and then today like turned around. So maybe just gotta take a little bit more time. Something that I can work on. Yeah. Maybe some other people will have other ways that they can be more positive, or other, you know, just simply other ways that maybe I never thought of, or maybe we don't,
other
you know.
things that they can, like other ways that they can look at a situation.
I like that. Yeah.
So going back to that, we're probably gonna, well, I'm gonna try to come up with a list for our next video of maybe more things that I would like to improve on. I think, and actually I went back to the first video and I counted the amount of times that I said the word like.
Oh, nice.
And
How was it?
I think the number was 17.
Ooh, okay.
So not too bad, but it was enough for me to notice.
Me too. It was not for me. I didn't count it, and that's a lot better than my example. I'd said it a lot more before, and maybe I should go back and count how many times I say it. I hope it's not that much, but not that it's wrong. But I think we can focus on that, and I'm glad you counted it. Kind of a little bit more aware, looking at it again.
Right.
Cool. I think
come up with lists of things we want to improve with ourselves, and we'll get back to you guys next week.
Okay.